YouTube? It is your favorite game here, Above Average Cody, coming at you today with a conversation about the theory of Halo Infinite ranked being rigged. Now, the first place I saw this theory was actually a video by Stars. A few people sent it to me. To briefly summarize the video, he basically discusses all about why he feels the rank system is rigged in favor of you staying stuck at a certain rank. To basically describe this, he uses an example of games where you could be winning by a landslide. I think he used an example of being up like 200 points in Strongholds or something like that. And then all of a sudden, a switch flips. You can't get a kill. Your teammates can't get a kill. You can't do anything right. And you lose the match. The theory here is that the game is using some form of desync or something to sandbag you and your team such that you stay at a 50% win-loss rate. So no matter how well you play, no matter how bad you play, you should win as many games as you lose. Now, I do believe that is the goal in some respects, which I'm going to get into in a second here, guys, but I do not feel 343 is doing this intentionally. It seems extremely unrealistic that the company or anybody is intentionally using game mechanics or game disadvantages to handicap a team such that they can fit this perfect script of whatever the game feels like their win-loss should be. To address a game where you are winning and then you lose, Halo Infinite is a very competitive game. Halo has always been a very competitive game, and through the form of teamwork or getting lazy or just not being able to get a kill, guys, I think there's a million other fundamental reasons that could happen. We even see it happen with the pros at LAN events where desync could not even possibly be an issue. Now, to get into my thoughts on this, I do firmly believe the goal is a 50-50 win rate. They want you to have an equal win-loss rate. And the reason that is, guys, is the fabulous long-time topic of matchmaking multiplayer. SBMM, that is right, skill-based matchmaking. The whole premise of this is if you play a lot of good games in succession, it is inevitable that you climb up this imaginary rank scale and you get a harder lobby to basically challenge you. And the more wins you get, the harder lobbies you get, ideally, the more losses you get. Because what happens in the majority of games, guys, is there is an imaginary level where the game puts you at. Whatever your skill is, whatever the numbers you are putting up, the game puts you on an imaginary scale, right? Let's say on this scale, you are right in the center, right? You are a very average player, okay? Let's say you maybe do a lot of practice in Academy, you're running a lot of 8s off the matchmaking servers, and you are getting significantly better, okay? So, you jump back into matchmaking, where you are still in the middle of the scale I mentioned, all right? You play a ton of games, you absolutely fry out. You win 15 games in a row. You are too good to play in those lobbies, okay? So now you're, 15 wins, 0 losses. It is inevitable that you are now climbing up the ladder that the game has you on. While you were winning those 15 matches, you may have been in the middle, but you're creeping up. So now the lobbies are getting harder. And say you keep winning, all right? So you win 5 more matches, and the game is going, oh my god, this dude is a freak. He is obliterating these kids in these lobbies. We can't have that happening. That messes with the rank system. So we must have him in the wrong area. So they're going to jack you up the scale. Do you know what happens when you go up the scale? You face better talent, better teams, and ideally, the game gets more challenging. And basically what happens from here on out, guys, is either it's too challenging and you start to lose, which then it starts bringing you down to a 50-50 win rate, or you win more games and you get put up higher on the scale, and then eventually the lobbies, you're either playing in the best lobbies the game has to offer, or you drop back down, which is the 50-50 win rate. Now, I think that is what is going on here, because ideally that system gets a 50-50 win rate, right? That is the goal of the system. Is it always going to be a perfect 50-50 win rate? No, It's not going to be. There's never always going to be perfectly balanced teams. There's never always going to be a player that exactly wins as many matches as they lose. But to address the issues with the shots not hitting mid-game or wonky things happening, I do believe this game has a ton of bugs, all right? There's desync issues. There is inconsistencies. There are players that somehow get to ranks they should not be at. There are always going to be outliers in any scenario, especially one that involves skill-based matchmaking. But I think the idea of 343 sitting at a PC, flipping these switches when above average Cody's winning when he shouldn't be winning, to think that somebody's flipping a switch and changing things and forcing the game to basically work against me, I think that's a little unrealistic. To think that they're doing that, and if something like that came out and it turns out they were doing that, oh my goodness, that would for sure 100% put not only the game, but the developers of the game in the grave for good. So I think it's unrealistic, and on top of that, I think fundamentally there are a lot more things that could be going wrong, because I'll be honest, I've had games where I'm winning by a landslide with a full team, and we end up losing that game, and not at any point do I go, the game is working against me to win this game. You know, we make mistakes. I have days where I can't find a kill completely on my own accord, and it is all on me, my aim, and my cold hands. But here's the thing with every ranked system, guys. The game does not take your cold hands into account. It does not take your bad comms into account. It does not take what you had for lunch that day into account. It can only go off the individual numbers that you put up. The analytics. That is what the game bases you off of. So when you only have that to go off of, it's never going to be perfect. I could play absolutely cracked out of my mind 3 in the afternoon, hopped up on G Fuel, and then play first thing in the morning the next day, drowsy, tired, no caffeine, cold hands, and play like a different player, and that completely throws off the whole system. So a 50-50 win rate, I do believe, is the goal. Is it always going to happen? Is it going to happen even 75% of the time? Probably not. But I think the idea that the game is intentionally working against you is a little far-fetched. To be honest, some days I do wish that was the case, but I think it is just more realistic that I'm playing bad, I'm getting tilted, and then when you get tilted, you start to play worse. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm not saying I have any lick of hard evidence, and I am by no means am I calling Stars wrong. I enjoy the take. I like the take, and frankly, I hope he's right just so we have a reason that I can throw out there on stream to explain why I am so hard stuck in Diamond 2, even though I practice and I play with Onyx players, but I just can't get there, guys. But anyways, that pretty much wraps up my thoughts. I hope it made sense, guys. It's very late at night. I work today. It's allergy shot day. I am tired. Hopefully, I articulated everything I was trying to get across in a sensible manner. By no means am I trying to take a dig or a big disagreement at Stars and his take. I think it's a fair take to make. I think it's a little far-fetched, but frankly, I've seen much, much crazier things, guys. So subscribe to the channel, comment, leave a like. Obviously, I want to hear all of your thoughts down there, guys. Other than that, channel membership, super thanks. You guys know the drill. I don't have a good outro ready for you. Like I said, it's late. I'm tired. But some people were asking my thoughts on this, and I've really been pondering it, and that's what I came up with for you guys. So I love y'all. Thank you for all the support lately. Stay happy, stay healthy, and stay tuned for the next video.